after the abomination that was Expedition Odyssey, SeaWorld Orlando refurbishes it and opens up Expedition Odyssey Fire and Ice. And we're going to explore more of it in Alex's honest review of Expedition Odyssey Fire and Ice. Alright, so like with every Alex Honest review, we're going to first start off with the history of Expedition Odyssey Fire and Ice. So if you don't know the history of this precise location of where this ride is located, we have to go all the way back to 1992. Well, really back to 1989. In 1989, Anheuser-Busch buys SeaWorld Corporation, SeaWorld Parks. And, you know, before they already had... Busch owned the Busch Gardens Parks, which already had attractions, but they also incorporated zoos. So it was kind of a perfect match for them to buy SeaWorld Parks, right? So they expanded SeaWorld Parks, and they really wanted them to compete with the surrounding theme park market with Disney and, you know, the up and coming Universal Studios Florida. So yeah, so in 1992 they opened up this ride called Mission Bermuda Triangle. It was basically this ride through the Bermuda Triangle, and of course, it used the same ride system as you see in Disney with Star Tours, and the same year when Busch bought SeaWorld, Body Wars as well. And so yeah, it uses that same ride system, that cabin sim ride system, right? So yeah, and then 1992 they opened up Mission Bermuda Triangle. Received mixed reviews here and there, you know. So in 1995 they saw an opportunity to, you know, really take this attraction to a new level. So they closed it in 1995, and in the same year they opened Wild Arctic. And this ride, Wild Arctic, it took you on an adventure through the Arctic, you know, seeing all the habitats, animals, landscaping, etc. But what really made Wild Arctic different from anything SeaWorld had ever done before was that it incorporated ride and animal. Since, in addition to the Bermuda Triangle building, they added an animal exhibit for, you know, the belugas, the walruses. Because before, the belugas and the walruses were at Whale and Dolphin Stadium, I think, at one point. So yeah, that happened in 1995. And the ride also incorporates story to it. So, you know, there was like the whole Franklin Exploration Center. We'll get to that later. And yeah, it just incorporated story like a Disney ride will. And it was like something SeaWorld had never done before. So that was, you know, really good for them. And so yeah, that ride lasted about 25 years until March 14th of 2020. You know, COVID-19 happened. And the ride had been closed since then. You know, SeaWorld had said nothing's... At first, SeaWorld had said, oh, we can't open this ride due to COVID guidelines or something. Which is kind of weird. A lot of people question that because Disney had reopened Star Tours by then. So, it didn't make any sense. So, silence for like 4 years, right? And then, you know, in 2024, there was a trademark filed called Northern Flights, a Wild Arctic Adventure. And everyone was like, could this be the new name of the replacement coming for Wild Arctic? And we found out early in September 2025, a little bit later in the year, I mean. And we found out it was actually going to be called Expedition Odyssey. And all the SeaWorld fans were all bummed out about that because, you know, they missed the homage to Wild Arctic. So then Expedition Odyssey was constructed. SeaWorld was really hyping this up to be a one-of-a-kind experience. Fans were hyped up for it too. And then when it opened, utter disappointment. I mean, just bad transitions, bad video quality. The queue was bare bones. It wasn't good. And it didn't help either. On the first day of operation, that a letter from the sign had fell on a lady. So not a good run from Expedition Odyssey there. So I believe in April of this year, of April 2026, they closed Expedition Odyssey and they said we were going to redo this. We were going to make a new story for it. We're we're gonna do a lot of things to it. And of course, now people are gonna be hyped up. So yeah, and then we got to today. Ride opens in May, Memorial Day weekend. I'm pretty sure is when it opens, or maybe the first week of May. And yeah, a lot of good reviews from it, and you're gonna see what I'm gonna say about it right now. So first, you know, when you see the facade of the building, so much different from the other one, because the other one, it just had pictures of animals and all that. So, you know, it has an homage to Wild Arctic, which is the Wild Arctic Exploration Trail, which they renamed the exhibit to. So, you know, you walk in, and it looks like the outside. It looks like a lot like a cabin you would see in the Arctic or the North Pole or anywhere of those places. And I really like the nice touch on the outside of the sign of Expedition Odyssey Fire and Ice. I like how it has like little like ice coals on it. Like, you'll see what I mean. Like, it has like a little white painting on it, and it looks like it's like cold, like freezing up. Really like that little touch right there. So yeah, you're basically entering the Millard Flight Station, which is a tribute to another Wild Arctic character, which is Snowman Miller, who is the guy who introduces you in the old pre-show and stuff like that. But the whole thing is owned by this company named Ares. We really don't know much about them, so there's no lore there. There's no background story to it. They're just there. There's like, hey, this is owned by Ares, but still a step forward in the right direction for SeaWorld attraction, if you know what I mean. So yeah, you walk in. Oh, so different than what you saw there previously. You know, there's pictures on the wall. It kind of looks like it sets the tone. You know, it sets like the tone of you're entering like a base station in the Arctic. So I really like that nice touch. So yeah, here in this like main room, a lot of nice touches. There's a video screen on board, on the top, I mean. You know, that says, you know, where these places are, you know, explaining them, what they're... There are even overhead voices out there in the queue. This is something like... This is great. I mean, this is Disney stuff that Disney does, and now SeaWorld is doing. So I really like that approach right there. Yeah, so there's computer desktops, there's drones, there's microscopes, there's stuff like that. You know, even water bottles, showing that, hey, people work here. You know, this is a living place. This is what people go to work for every day. I really like that touch. Yeah, so the video board really signals, you know, how much heat there is. What's the coldest like? What's the like right now? What are these regions looking like? So yeah, so it's all really nice touches. You know, there's even core samples there, showing that this is a living laboratory. There's some little details here. There's a model of the new upcoming SeaWorld attraction, SeaQuest, Legend of the Deep. Again, really like those attention to details right there, paying homage to what's coming in the future. You know, I really like those attention to details, which, as we see in the past editions of SeaWorld attractions, it has not been the case. Except for Penguin Trek. Penguin Trek is the exception, okay? Penguin Trek is awesome. But, yeah, that's the queue. Just a lot of details, you know, emphasizes that this is a living, working place, and, you know, people work here, which is always great. The operations, we're going to talk about the operations a little later, because I do have a problem with that. Okay, so moving forward. So here's the pre-show. You know, the pre-show really explains what you're about to board. So here's, you know, there's this guy talking to you. I don't even know his name. He looks like he's staring off to a teleprompter half the time. I don't know, dude. I mean, it just doesn't look good. Now, another Wild Arctic reference here. The Franklin Flight Technologies. know how I mentioned there, the Franklin Exploration Center, Franklin Flight Technologies. So yeah, you're they explain to you while you're boarding is the EOX4 drone, quadcopter drone, and I like it. Explains, hey, this is what you're gonna be boarding. He's not boarding the Expedition Odyssey Mark 1 or whatever it is, the most lazy name ever. Yeah, but a lot of the pre-show, just explaining why you're here and what you're gonna be boarding. Yeah, storyline continues the storyline right there. So yeah, it's basically it for the pre-show. Just explaining you the safety, and the guy's like, "Oh, so totally important safety video, right?" So when you enter the load station is the same thing, except there's more details. I'm pretty sure like there's more emphasizing on, hey, you're in a North Pole place, you're in a cold place, you're in an Arctic place, stuff like that. So here we got the red coat guy, which I don't even think he has a name. He probably does, but please, someone please tell me. So yeah, he like waves you off saying, hey, you're gonna find animals. Hey, look out for those animals, right? So yeah, that's basically that. And then it kind of gives you a countdown. It kind of gives you this, moment of anticipation. Like, oh, it turns all dark. And when you turn around, it really, it raises your heartbeat a little bit. And then when the film starts, it opens up to this white Arctic feel. And, we're taking off from the station, which they emphasize on the bottom right there. So yeah, it looks great. Film quality. I don't know if it has to do with the projector or it's just a straight up that they filmed on 720p. I don't know. A lot of good. There's transitions here kind of seem abrupt. Not gonna lie. There's some scenes which I wish we could just fully take in the moment a little bit. Now there's the volcano scene, which really cool scene right there. You walk past it and all that. Yeah, and it kind of there's some great transition stuff. Like the sun up in the left and the transitions like that. It's perfect, right? And yeah, there's not really much to say about the film. What it does do a better job in Expedition Odyssey, the original version of it, is that the music actually flows with the film. So it sets up for a lot of emotional heartbeats. Moments, right? Moments. One of my favorite scenes is guys like kayaking down the canoe, and one of them is like falling over the waterfall. It's not canoeing down the canoe, but canoeing down the river, right? You know what I mean? So yeah, I really like those moments, and it kind of makes me feel emotional a little bit when I first saw the ride footage. It's like, damn, it's got emotional beats to it and everything. It features live people too, which is always great. It's great. I'm not sure if the film is CGI or not. It could be. I don't know yet. I don't know though. Someone will have to ask, but I think some of it is real. But I think most is CGI, especially the opening scene, and of course maybe the water one. Which, speaking about the water scene, we don't get an explanation of the jar. Like in the original Wild Arctic, you would always get an explanation of why you're going underwater. It's kind of like a water vehicle as well. Here, they don't really explain. It's like, oh, it's a drone. I'm like, well, drones can't really go underwater, so it doesn't make any sense, So there's some plot holes there, plot holes that we don't really, get explained. If you wonder why I'm looking off to the right so much, is because I'm actually watching the film to the device next to me. Yeah, I mean, the film was good. It wasn't bad. It was good for a SeaWorld, attraction. Yeah, I really like it. The only thing I could complain, the other thing I could complain about is that there's no orcas, which there was something that was, hey, this is going to be featuring orcas in the original Expedition Odyssey, but there's no orcas here. So I'm kind of bummed out about that, but again, what can I say? They did a really good job on this attraction. I really like the queue. The pre-show's okay, but the film is solid enough to be a quality attraction, and it is worth going. So yeah, not really else much to say about the film. You unload and it's the same thing. You got the Northern Lights. Kind of exit kind of thing. I always liked the exit. The exit was good. It was one of the few good things about the original Expedition Odyssey. Yeah, and it was that. But of course, at the end, you enter the Wild Arctic Exploration Trail, or the Wild Arctic Adventure Trail, which I think is actually called. And there's no changes to it. They haven't even updated the screens or anything. But yeah, I mean, amazing exhibit, right? I just really like the exhibit. It features great detail, great theming. I love the radio that's going off in the background, emphasizing, hey, someone works here, So yeah, that's great. Yeah, so this attraction was a solid upgrade, a really solid upgrade. One of the few upgrades in the theme park industry that you said, wow, that was a totally different ride. And it is a totally different ride. It was good. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say other than that. It's just really good. The film was solid. The queue was solid. Pre-show, but still better than what was before. And I hope they keep going in this direction. They're gonna improve the more they go, which, it's gotta happen, right? So hopefully with SeaQuest, Legend of the Deep, they take what they did here and improve upon in that attraction. Hi, editing Alex here. I kind of did forget to give it an out of 10 rating. So, much like the Shamu Celebration Light Up the Night rating, I did give that 9 out of 10. I'm gonna give it Expedition Odyssey Fire and Ice an 8 out of 10. Mainly because the video quality, I don't think is much better than the last one, but it is a little bit better with music and as well as, picking emotional beats. Yeah, so 8 out of 10 for Expedition Odyssey. Great attraction. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this honest review. If you like this honest review, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it to anyone who is interested in SeaWorld parks. I really hope we can continue this good ride of good reviews. Last month, Light Up the Night, it's really good, right? And this one as well. So I really like this attraction. Go out to SeaWorld Orlando if you want to, see it, ride it, and experience the wonders of Expedition Odyssey, Fire and Ice. Yeah, so... Oh, I forgot to mention that the ride is more like the correlation between ice and fire, which is the whole, which, the Arctic contains of, which surprised many people, right? Yeah, I was even surprised when I learned about that too. So yeah, it's educational in that sense too, right? So anyway, thank you for watching this honest review. Please click on like and subscribe to watch more videos like this. And we still got more honest reviews going. I got 2 more show honest reviews coming. Hopefully those will come out sooner rather than later. So anyway guys, thanks for watching this video and see you all next time.